Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna take a look at the brand new profession in Lost Ark, which is translated as Assassin. This one was just introduced this week on Wednesday, so just a few days ago from the moment you're seeing this video on Sunday. Very excited for this because it took me by surprise. That's the whole reason why I'm excited about this. I thought that after they've added a fourth class to the fighter profession, I thought that mages would get a fourth, warrior would get a fourth, and hunter would get a fourth before we see a brand new profession altogether. But they decided to do a little bit of a swap. I love pleasant surprises. This was a pleasant surprise to see a fourth profession with its own subclasses here. Now, I wanted to make this video on Wednesday, right the same day when it came out, but I started to play it. I started to level up my assassin. I got my demonic one to about level 30. I didn't like it. I went back to the character creation screen. I did a blade. I got that to level 30. Didn't like it, and I thought to myself, instead of making the video on Wednesday, why don't I just wait to play at least one of these two classes until 50 to see if I'm just that stupid or this class is just something bland and a little bit boring, I might dare to say. I got one of them, the demonic one, to level 50, and as it turns out, the class itself, the whole profession, in my opinion, is just whatever. So today in this video, guys, we're gonna take a deeper look. I have created another character and got it to level 10 so I can show you guys both of these professions in the same video right away on the spot. So let's hop to this character in Trision, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the assassin. Let me start with a few positive things, because obviously there's some of those also with this whole ordeal of a brand new profession, assassin, and the class in general and everything else about it. So the class looks absolutely badass. The animations for the skills, as you can see on your screen, look absolutely gorgeous, badass, cool, and it gives me the heebie-jeebies all over my body when I'm looking and I'm actually playing this class and looking at the way they look, the skills. In terms of skins, the skins for this class look absolutely badass, as you can see on my screen right now. It's absolutely gorgeous and they look perfectly fit for assassins. It looks very assassin-y. Another beautiful thing that they've done with the introduction of this new profession is the tutorial for the profession. It is amazing. It just reminds me 80% of Assassin's Creed, the way you climb on the buildings, the way you jump on the buildings, the way you climb on some flags and then jump in a haystack and so on and so forth. It's absolutely beautiful. They've done an amazing job in terms of looks for this class, the character's looks and also the skill looks. The last thing I want to add to this list of positives is how the class's combat feels. And I'm not saying this to praise the assassin as a profession. I'm saying that all the classes' combat in Lost Ark in general feel absolutely superb and extremely polished, and it's probably the best combat system in terms of movement and flow and skills and looks and everything that I have ever played in my life. It goes the same with the assassin profession. It is flawless, superb, amazing, etc, etc. Not because of the profession, just because of the game in general. All the classes have amazing combat. Now let's get into the negatives of this profession. First of all, may I just say that the whole profession feels, in terms of gameplay, exactly like the fighter profession, only with swords. I understand, obviously, the combat looks different. I've mentioned though at the beginning of the video that the skills that they have, of course they look different. They sound different than what the fighter profession has. Duh, that's a no-brainer, and I've mentioned that. However, in terms of what you do and in terms of how this class feels and how this class dodges and everything else about this class, it's basically a copy-paste of any of the fighter professions, but just put them swords instead of fists, or instead of big fists or small fists. So it's the same kind of thing. Obviously, you can imagine that the innate skill is wildly different on a demonic than on a bard, That's a no-brainer as well, because obviously they have different kind of skills and different kind of innates and different kind of ultimate skills and so on and so forth, blah blah blah. This skill also, you've never seen in Lost Ark such a skill with 2 blades spinning on the ground. However, I want to stress on the fact that the class just doesn't feel special. The class just feels like a fighter, like a insert random fighter class here, and just put it some blades and give it some cool little wings with some smoke effect, because I'm part of a demon controversy and conspiracy in Lost Ark. Badass in terms of skins and skill looks, but that's about it. That's all this class is. This is unfortunate though, because you know, when you introduce a new profession overall, you want something different. Any class from warrior profession is vastly different in terms of gameplay, actual gameplay, than any class from the fighter profession, or any class from the mage profession, or any class from the gunner profession. A gunner is vastly different compared to a fighter. A fighter is vastly different compared to a mage, and so on and so forth. You would expect that a triple or quadruple A MMORPG like Lost Ark would put a little bit more effort into designing or creating something completely different if they name it as an assassin and a separate profession of its own. It just really doesn't really bring anything special to the table. It doesn't feel anyhow different than a fighter with swords. I keep saying that, but it is what it is. It's just the same walk, the same dodge, the same kinda, you know, fight with medium range with your swords this time. It's just bland. It's just like a food with no salt, but presented on a beautifully made plate with little yellow drops of mustard and so on. So it looks cool, it looks badass, everything about it is badass. This skill, this hand, the demon hand is badass. Reminds me of like Stranger Things kind of badass things, but that's about it. It's just a simple class. And if you try the blade out as well, I'm gonna actually, why don't I just show them to you. So there's 2 options for an assassin. You have this one translated as blade, which has quite nice mobility and has also decent attack but not the best, and then compared to the demonic version which has a little bit more range, a little bit more attack, a lot less mobility, and so on and so forth. It's 2 options that even if you select the other one, again, it just feels like something I've already seen and played in Lost Ark. Might it be a battle master? Might it be a infighter, or even a lance master? To be honest, because some skills from this blade assassin actually kind of remind me a little bit of a lance master in that sense, which again I'm saying is part of the fighter classes. Pretty disappointed in this class. Obviously very happy for the game that it does have it, but that's about it. I'm very happy for the skins and for the new looks, and I'm very happy for the people that they just think they like it because it's something new, and oh my god, let me play Demonic because Demonic has such badass ultimate and it looks like crazy fucking good. And I get that, I agree with that, but that's what it is. It's just a different looks with the kind of exact same feel as I've already felt in Lost Ark with all of the fighter subclasses. Anyway, that's about it. I'm not gonna go into very many details about this class. I've played just a little bit on this demonic version. I've played a little bit of PvE and PvP at endgame at level 50. Didn't bother very much with it. Obviously the class has everything, blah blah blah, CC, break bar, agility, moves in and out of combat. Wow, so nice, so good. I've seen that from Battle Masters 11 months ago. So, you know, yeah, the class has everything. Of course you can play it in raids, of course you can play it in PvP, of course it's a little bit OP now that it just released, etc, etc, blah blah blah. All of the regular MMORPG new class releases. But that's about all I wanted to share with you guys. I know I might be in the minority. I don't know. I don't watch like Lost Ark videos, and I don't really browse the Korean forums every day to see what Koreans think about this. Maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe it's just in my head. But this is just another bland boiled potato, in my opinion. I hope that the devs in the future will be a little bit more creative with new professions, even though they've added this one, and maybe they can work on this one to just make it a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit more assassin-y, maybe give it some special something that only this class has. I know it has this skill. Yes, this is the only class that has this skill. Look, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about other things, like just that unique flavor, like a separate dish of its own, part of the same course. I wanna eat a soup when I play a fighter class. I wanna eat a main course when I play a warrior class, and I wanna eat dessert when I go on my goddamn assassin. It needs to taste different, feel different, and have different consistency, hot or cold, and so on and so forth. At the moment, this one does not have it, and that's all I can say about it. I'm hoping, very much looking forward to see maybe other classes from current professions, how they're gonna deal with that. I understand if they release a 4th warrior class, yeah, and it feels a little bit like the other warriors. That's right, that's correct, because it's part of the same profession, the warrior, but releasing a completely different profession that feels exactly like another one, that's a little bit bizarre. Anyway, they have one more spot free for a profession. Maybe some sort of engineer that can be like some DPS dealing with tornadoes and explosives and bombs kind of guy, and another subclass could be some, I don't know, some sort of a support kind of thing, I don't know, with turrets and so on and so forth. God knows, but very much looking forward to seeing what they come up with next. As always, let me know in the comments below what do you think. Do you think this is just in my head, or did you also play it until level 50 or even quit at level 30, and does it feel to you very similar to other classes? I wish you lots of love. I hope you enjoy the summer, stay safe, and I'm gonna see you next Sunday.